Okay, Mark Heath here with English heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley from Ipswich, our own champion. You're defending your belt this weekend, Fabio, for the first time against Nick Webb. First of all, thanks for having us down to the gym. It's been a year and a bit since we've been down here because of COVID, all that madness. In the meantime, while everyone else has been locked down, you've been becoming quite a big deal. You've been winning fights. You won the English heavyweight title. You knocked out Richard Lartey, and last time out you stopped a two-time world title challenger in Eric Molina. Before we get onto other stuff, the Molina fight, you've been saying to me for a long time, every time we talk before fights, I want to get pushed, I want to get kind of taken into the deep waters. That fight, you got caught with a big right hand. So how deep were those waters that you were in that fight?
Yeah, I had to do a couple of lengths. I had to do a bit of swimming, but that's what we wanted. That's what we were looking for. Like I said, I've been saying to you for a while that they're the kind of type of fights that I wanted. I want to get those kind of tests done and dusted, kind of out of the way, get those boxes ticked quite early on in my career, as opposed to getting there later down the line and running into those kind of troubles and facing things that I haven't gone through before. So that's one that I've ticked off. I went into a few more rounds. I got a few more rounds under my belt, got hit with a hard shot and came back and still won the fight. So it's all good things. Like I say, you need those type of challenges to help you develop as a fighter.
What have you taken away from that fight? Because clearly that's a guy who's much more experienced than you. As I say, he's been in with Joshua, he's been in with Wilder for the world title. He did catch you with a big right hand, and from the outside looking on, it looked like you were hurt. Were you that badly hurt? Or?
No, I wasn't badly hurt at all. Don't get me wrong, it was a good shot and it hit me clean, so I felt the need to take a second to step away and readjust and not just go flying in. I tried to take the situation on a bit of a calmer level, but when he followed through with me and backed me up to the ropes, I decided to go the other way with it and go, right, let's let the hands go a bit and get stuck in, and it came out well, and I did well off that. But like I say, it's all learning, and the thing in that fight was I think I needed to just be a bit more patient with my work and set some things up a bit more. I was a bit eager, I rushed a few things, hence why I just walked in onto a shot. But like I say, lessons learned. I've watched it over a few times now, and I know now what not to do.
Okay, well, Nick Webb this weekend, let's talk a little bit about Nick Webb. You're defending your English title for the first time at Fight Camp, live on DAZN, get the app everyone, on Saturday in Eddie Hearn's back garden. What are your thoughts on Nick Webb as an opponent? He's 17-2, so he's got more pro fights than you. He's won 4 in a row. I think 3 of those were on the same night on the Ultimate Boxer. And last time out, he stopped an unbeaten prospect, someone who was 7-0. So what are your thoughts about Nick as an opponent?
He's okay. He's not like, don't get me wrong, he's a good opponent for me at this stage of my career. Like I say, I'm still up and coming, still got a few more things to do, a few more kind of names to scratch off the list, and a few more different tests to go through. And Nick is a different kind of opponent. I think he's more of a come forward fighter. He'll want to get stuck in. He's a bigger guy. He'll want to try and impose his size on the fight as well. So they're different problems for me to try and manoeuvre around. But overall, I think it's still going to be the same result for me.
We'll come on to a prediction in a minute. Is there anything you've added ahead of this fight? It sounds silly because Fab's a heavyweight, but every time I see you, you look bigger. Although for a heavyweight, you're not particularly massive, are you? So is that something you're trying to add in terms of strength and conditioning? You're adding kind of muscle and weight, or is that something you...
Yeah, it's something we're playing with. Definitely something we're playing with. I've been working with my strength and conditioning coach, Danny Wilson, from Boxing Science for about a year now. And the results and the things we've been going through has been fantastic. So we're just building on top of brick after brick. Just each camp, each time we're working together, we're putting more on top of what we put there before. And in terms of kind of my size and my weight and stuff, it's still something that fluctuates. It's still something we're still playing around with a bit to kind of find my optimum weight, because I'm not your conventional heavyweight. I'm not very massive or big and upright and like base myself mainly off my size. I move a lot, so I need to find that balance between having enough weight that I'm still imposing on the fight, but not too much where it affects my performance on the other end of my movement and skills that side.
And someone else you've worked with, me talking about heavyweights there, you sparred with the who's who of the top heavyweights pretty much in the country and the world. 2 of those are going to meet next month, September, Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk. You've worked with both of them, you sparred extensively with Usyk twice, I think, ahead of fights. How do you see that fight going? Those kind of fights must be really interesting to you.
Yeah, it's an intriguing fight. It's an intriguing fight, most definitely. And I think it'll be a brilliant fight to watch. If you'd have asked me when Usyk first ever turned over, I think I'd have kind of nudged it towards him in this fight. But since he's moved into heavyweight, I think there's been a bit of an adjusting period for him, which he may have found a bit more difficult than he anticipated. And since Joshua's obviously win with Ruiz, I think he's just coming on better and better. He's moving into a slightly different style where he used to be in that kind of massive, big, heavy puncher style. And he's converted himself into a bit more of a boxer now, and his style's a bit more fluid, which is good. So either way, it's still going to be a great fight. But on this at this moment in time, I think I'd edge it to Joshua.
What's it like being in the ring with both of them? Is it what you'd expect? I mean, Joshua, as you say, you watching him, he looks like a massive puncher. Usyk, a master boxer, a mover. Is that fair to say, Evan Shedler?
Yeah, they're the same thing. When you get in the ring, don't get me wrong, they're both challenging in their own way. There's different things that you've got to pay attention to, different things you've got to focus on when you're in the ring with them. But they both pose their own problems, and they're a lot to handle in their own regard. So. Again, when they step in together, it's going to be a great night.
Okay, moving on to something slightly different now. Ipswich Town, you're a former Ipswich Town Academy player.
Yeah.
I know one day you want to fight at Portman Road, that's the dream. 2023, the summer, hopefully, that's when it's going to happen. But now you've got extra interest at Ipswich Town because you've got a mate playing for Town, Macaulay Bond. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, we grew up not 50 yards from each other, went to the same school. I'm a year or two older than him, but we've always been around each other, like I say, we grew up together, and it's great to see someone come out of literally near on the same street as me, doing so well, when obviously at a club he loves and doing something again great for the town.
So this Saturday could be a huge weekend. Obviously Town are playing for the first time, Macaulay Bond first time in Town colours, League One, so hopefully a Bond goal and then a Fabio Wardley knockout. You've got 10 in a row. Let's talk a little bit about the Nick Webb fight then. Is there a danger, Fabio, that there are kind of levels of being a prospect and you're through that first level now where people go, yeah, he's knocking everyone out, but what happens when he gets punched on the chin? You've shown that, you've knocked someone out pretty much straight away after you got caught. Now people are going, well, let's see him in with, I mean, I've had people on social media saying, let's get him in with Joe Joyce and Daniel DeBar and stuff. Is there a danger now that people want to see you move too quickly?
Yeah, but that's always the case. When you're doing well, people want to test you and test you and test you. They want to put you in with those bigger names and bigger prospects and the bigger fights going on around you. That's only natural, but at the moment, like, I'm completely in control of my career. I'll go at the pace I want to go at, and even now, I think I'm going at a pretty fast pace, facing someone like Eric Molina and taking the fights that I'm taking. So I'm happy with the pace we're moving at. There's no need for me to rush. There's no need for me to just go full steam ahead and get carried away with myself just because I've done well in previous fights and I've come through on the win every time. But it's all about balance and about maintaining kind of that pace. And there's still a lot more for me to learn. And it's about taking it at the right pace where you're not getting too carried away with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely worth stressing. You look at Fabio Wardley, English heavyweight champion, 11 pro fights, but you've only had 15 fights total. You had 4 white collars and then 11 pro, and that is pretty much unheard of in terms of boxing. So you are moving very, very quickly. I know you won't look past Nick Webb for this fight, but there has been talk of you meeting Nathan Gorman for the British title. Is that something that's kind of on the agenda further down the line for you, maybe next year?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that's still in the plans. Like I said, I've defended my English title, but once I've got that first defence out of the way, I think that's me done with the English title for then. I've kind of staked my claim and ready to move on from that. And the only next one to go really is the British, Commonwealth maybe, or even the European. But those kind of 3 are all in the same kind of realm. All of those I could meet Nathan Gorman for. But a good British dust-up with Nathan Gorman for the British title would obviously be a great fight. So, yeah, it's something I'd definitely be interested in.
Okay, hope for that next year. Let's come back then to the reason we're here. Nick Webb this weekend on Fight Camp. He said, I've seen a video this morning, he said he's going to humble you in that ring. What do you say to that?
He can give it a go. He can give it a go. 11 have tried and 11 have come up short, but it's not a problem. I'm glad he's coming into the fight with some confidence. He's excited, he's ready to go and raring to go. It means for a good fight, and it means I'm getting a good version of Nick Webb. So when I do win, I still get my hand raised, that there's no excuses. So I'm more than happy with all of that.
And how do you see it going? I say you've had 10 knockouts in a row. Is it going to be 11 on Saturday?
Definitely 11. Definitely 11. The fight won't go past 6 rounds.
There you go then. You heard it here first. That's DAZN. You've got to get the app, $1.99, excellent value on Saturday. Fight Camp. This man is co-main event against Nick Webb. Fabio Wardley defends his English heavyweight title for the first time. Do not miss it.